All right. So hopefully this will work. Well, want to welcome you to our next podcast here. Boy, I'm losing count of how many it is. It might be 15. As you see, I'm left alone for this podcast, so we're sure happy that you've still chosen to come and join us today, or me in this case. We want to thank you for all your support that you've been given on Facebook and YouTube and our podcast here, of course. And of course, we encourage you to look up our website, AmundsonFamilyMusic.com. Check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/AmundsonFamilyMusic, and you'll see different levels of support for as low as $5 a month, which allows you to get in on our live streams that we have every week. And then you can go up from there. You can go to $10 a month and get access to live footage that others don't get to see. And then if you go higher than that, then you get background videos and stuff that our family does, like our hiking trips and things like that. And then you can just go on from there. But check it out, and we'd love to have you join the family. That is really the meat and the bread and butter of how we're able to continue doing what we're doing in regards to online content. We are making a little bit on Facebook now, and hopefully we'll start making some on YouTube, but it's realistically, it's not going to be a whole lot. I heard some advice on how you get good views on videos, podcasts, and things like that, and that is to be controversial. And that's just not where we want to go. Now, I mean, some things, especially spiritually, there's always going to be a little controversy, but we really don't care to enter into that sort of thing. The other way to get good views is to play music that might be popular to the masses. Well, the music that we play just really isn't that popular. It's good, home, clean, fun music, and talking about good times and positivity and talking about the Lord, and those things honestly just aren't as popular as some of the other things out there. But that's just not where we want to go either. So we want to thank you so much for overlooking some of the more controversial things that we could be entering into, and still coming, watching our videos, listening to our music, listening to the podcast. We really appreciate that, because I believe that tells me something about your integrity, about what you believe, and about what you value in terms of what you want to listen to and what you want to support. So when you support us, that tells me kind of where your loyalty lies in regards to those things. So we appreciate that. I guess you can notice here that I'm out by a little creek that we have out back on the land. It's where some beavers have cut down some wood, so we have some automatic firewood here. It's where I've done a little trapping, and it's where, if the family wants to get out and have any resemblance of camping close to the house, why, this is the place. Even though I-40 is just like a quarter of a mile to the back of me, you can hear the big trucks humming along, and I often wonder, what kind of people are driving by on I-40, and it could be anybody from politicians to murderers to rock stars. You just never know who's driving down I-40, because it's a pretty main connection between the east and the west. And it makes me think of Tulsa time. I left Oklahoma driving in my Cadillac, just about to lose my mind, going to California, right? And so anybody following their dreams, going on a family trip, who knows what they're doing driving by on I-40. You'll get all kinds. So that's where I am this morning. We This is also the pasture where we're having calves this spring. And so I frequent here in the mornings, especially in the evening, just to see if there's any brand new calves and tending to them and tagging, making sure no coyotes are getting at them, because we have been seeing coyotes around. In fact, last night, Nate and I were out to feed a calf that hadn't been able to get up. We had to pull it and it was backwards, and so he was having trouble getting up. So we came and fed it. Anyways, as we came out, sure enough, if there wasn't a coyote out here, well, we scared the dickens out of him as we chased him with the gator. He was somehow able to get down into a ravine, and by the time we crossed it, he was gone. They are fast here. I'm not sure. They're not so big as we have them in Canada, but boy, I tell you, they are fast. He did not want to get caught, so we lost him. So maybe we'll see him again. I'm now keeping the gun on the gator in case we happen to spot something. So that's where this little spot is. I don't know, I wouldn't imagine it would be too far a stretch to have maybe Gabe set out his tent here and spend time. The only problem is this is the good time of year to do that. It's going to get hot pretty soon, and hot's not so bad unless it stays hot during the nighttime. Then at least for me, I have a hard time sleeping in the heat. That takes a little bit to get used to. So a little bit of news. Now you all know that Ira, he's still gone to Idaho to visit friends. Now, by the time this video comes out, we're going to be able to tell you the news that Sonora was keeping secret. She flew to Canada to surprise her good friend Cassidy this weekend, Easter weekend. And so she's going to surprise Cassidy, and then they're going to go to church camp at North Battleford to spend time with all kinds of family and friends, and we're not just a little envious of that. But that's okay. We're happy that she's able to do that. And who knows, if it works out, I may give her a call and you might hear from her on this very podcast. We'll see. The other thing is, we are looking forward to putting out more videos free on Facebook, but also if you would check out our Patreon account, you will also see where we're putting out other videos, especially live, I think I mentioned that you can get on our Patreon account. We want to thank everyone that has joined recently, and just want to thank you for your support. Well, this podcast I don't think is going to be very long because it's hard to have a conversation with myself. But in the meantime, maybe there's some wood to stack here. There's another tree the beavers have cut down that I'm going to have to cut up for firewood. The boys have been stacking it and loading it and hauling it to the yard and selling it, because firewood's going at a pretty good price nowadays, especially since heating fuel is going up and electricity is going up. Well, everything's going up, and so people are wanting firewood. The only bad thing about selling firewood is then we don't have as much for ourselves, so we always have to save a little bit, just so that we have a little bit in case we want to come out and have a campfire. And we also have wiener roasts and bonfires back at the house too come summer, and I'm sure we'll let you in on some of that. So we want to thank you so much. I'm not sure what we got for a song for this podcast, or maybe a scripture verse, but we'll see you back at the building for whatever we got in mind there. Thanks again for tuning in to this podcast number 15.
Out of control, this old love-struck soul just lives for the moment you're around. when I hold on to you. It is all I can do just to keep my feet on the ground. Desperately loving you desperately. When you're not here with me, I get a little bit crazy. Constantly, I think about you constantly. Look at what you done to me, I'm just like a little baby. Oh, I love you desperately. Should I laugh? Should I cry? Should I live? Should I die? It all depends upon you. Well, it's dangerous, I know, to be lost in you so, but I am, and there's nothing I can do. Desperately loving you desperately. When you're not here with me, I get a little bit crazy. Constantly, think about you constantly. Look at what you done to me, I'm just like a little baby. Oh, I love you desperately. Oh, I love you desperately.
This world's not my home, I'm just a passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere among the blue. The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. I have a loving mother just over in glory land, and I don't expect to stop until I shake her hand. She's waiting there for me in heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Just over in glory land we'll live eternally. The saints on every hand are shouting victory. Their songs of sweetest praise drift back to heaven's shore, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. And I can't feel at home in this world anymore.